Hey there fellows, Buddy Spike here. After I learned how to bring 3D models into Microsoft Flight Simulator, I just went crazy with ideas and created 8 sceneries which I'm willing to give away now. How to get these free sceneries, you can find that out by watching the video till the end. I have dedicated video for each scenery if you want to check that out, and the links are in the description. So without a further ado, here are 8 sceneries I made. Enjoy the video fellas. So my first mod was the RTX 3090. It's just a graphic card vertically standing, and made it look like one of the buildings in LA downtown. It was a really good and funny looking mod. What I did was I gave the scenery to my buddy Gutter King, and I didn't tell him what I'm about to show him. I just told him that there's a new building in downtown, and wanted to capture his reaction. So if you want to watch that video, its link is in the description. As you can see from the sides, where it's written Geforce RTX actually glows at night. It was a really beautiful looking mod. So this was the first aircraft carrier that was brought to FS 2020, and me and my buddy Gutter King flew in formation and landed on the aircraft carrier in formation, and it was a tough landing. And we managed to stop ourselves using the ramp, and the ramp really did help you stop, otherwise you would just overshoot. And as you saw, this was, I guess, the first ever drift using the 747 on an aircraft carrier. What I did was I increased the scale of the carrier so that you can actually land a 747. Otherwise, you would just overshoot the runway and fly off the ramp. Even though when you try to go back as much as possible and try to get as much as run up for the runway, a little problem with the runway was that it was not very smooth. So there was like a bump in the middle that kind of did not allow you to take off properly. You see it right over here. Other than that, you can land a 747 on it. It's possible, but taking off, that bump really kills your speed, and then you go down. It's a big failure. Crap. Yeah, it's a no-go. Oh God. No, you can't. It's not possible. After watching the movie War of the Worlds again, I thought I was a little inspired to have a little Chicago being overtaken by the tripods. So what I did was I imported quite a few different 3D models of tripods and placed them in different positions at different scales, and some of them were even larger than the tallest towers. The textures on the tripods really blended in with the textures of the city, and it really looked believable and very beautiful. By far my favorite mod is the Helicarrier from the Avengers. It's the Lego version of the Helicarrier, and it was just the most difficult scenery to have been possible, because you need a collision with the surface of the runway, and making that possible was very difficult, even for the aircraft carrier that I showed you earlier. This model was actually made by a guy from grabcat.com. So I got that model, went through a few conversion of formats, and finally managed to make it into a format that FS 2020 allows. Even though the Helicarrier is really detailed, but the fact is that I have to remove a lot of the details so that Flight Simulator would run in stable frames, and you will be able to land in stable frames. Landing on the Helicarrier is totally possible, and it's not easy. You gotta have an early touchdown to be able to land on it and not overshoot the runway. The best part is, even if you overshoot the runway, there's still no worries. You're still in the air, so you can just circle around and try again. One of the things about landing the aircraft on the Helicarrier is that if you have a successful landing, you will always be able to take off from it. Now, there are some planes that need shorter runway to land on and longer to take off from. So with this Helicarrier, as long as you can land on it, whenever you take off, you're actually in the air. You don't need to worry about pulling up a lot. In my latest version of the Helicarrier, I've placed it at 10,000 feet over Chicago, and it's a little bit bigger than the one that you're seeing in this video. So what you're seeing in front of you is the Los Santos from GTA 5. It is an exact replica of the Los Santos map. It's a 3D model that I found in sketchfab.com, and most of my 3D models were from sketchfab.com, and I just managed to make them and convert them into a format that Flight Simulator 2020 supports. Now this model is not as detailed as the one you would find in GTA 5. Its detail is quite taken off, but from the outside, from a little farther away, this model just looks very beautiful and exactly the same as the Los Santos in GTA 5. So I had to scale down the model a little to so that the details, so that the blurry textures wouldn't just show up as much.
Military base where I go steal jets from when people kill me with them foreign bikes.
Oh, yes, sir.
So this is the 3D model of the flat Earth, and it has got all those things that I think flat earthers believe, with the ice wall and the flat Earth and sun and moon placed in the way they believe the sun and moon has been placed, as well as the cage. Yeah, I'm not sure everyone believes that there's a cage. I mean, all the flat earthers believe there's a cage, but yeah, with this model, there is a cage. So yeah, this is the model of flat Earth. You can just fly around it, or maybe even fly under it. This is an interesting model. So this is the maze, and the idea behind this maze was that there would be 2 spectators and 1 pilot. So the pilot has to fly into the maze, and the 2 spectators, one of them will lie, and the other one will tell the truth. So if the pilot has to judge who's telling the truth and who's telling the lie. So if you believe the spectator who's lying to you, he will take you to the path of the virus, and then you gotta restart. And then later on, all of us went through the maze a few times, and we actually managed to memorize the turns, and we flew in formation through the tunnel. It was a really fun flight. You kinda did need a plane that could fly slow and turn fast, so this plane seemed to be the best option. So in this scenery, I managed to get vehicles from World War I, World War II, vehicles like the aircraft carrier, submarine, destroyer, and placed them near the Wake Island. I also placed a Russian aircraft carrier as well as the modern US aircraft carrier, and also the aircraft carrier from World War I with the single runway. But it was not easy to land. It was quite tough. My buddy Gutter King managed to land, but I managed to mess up quite a few times. There were vehicles from Japan, from Russia, from US, quite a mixture of different vehicles.
See an aircraft carrier.
Yeah, that's a Japanese
battleship.
Yeah, the battleship and the aircraft carrier are both Japanese.
Makes sense. We're the.
You can find my Discord link in the description, and you can send me a direct message requesting me which add-on you would like to have, and I will send you the download link for the scenery you like. These sceneries were not easy to make, so I would appreciate if you would support me by liking the video and subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. As always, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Buddy Spike out.
Me in a freaking 747. You think I could actually land on that? You
Dude.
made it the Russian carrier, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
The fucking ramp carrier.
Dude.
What?